can't I just use this to educate Africans, South Africans? To say, look, there's a language called Twi in Ghana.
Yeah.
In Ghana, there's this meal called fufu. You know, in Ghana, this is where Pan-Africanism started. Basically, Ghana is the first African country to get independence. Many people don't have simple information like that, you know. My brother, Mr. 𝐶𝐿𝐴 Isaac Seri, founder of Sesi Technologies. My brother, I'm impressed. Like I say, you are the first person where I feel I'll discuss technology entrepreneurship to the core, man. Talk Silicon Valley, talk the culture of Silicon Valley, bro. So thank you for coming to talk with me, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. I think when you're passionate about what you're doing, you can keep talking and talking and talking for hours, and it doesn't feel like a lot of work.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, we've been talking for what, more than probably over an hour before this recording, and we've just been going on and on and on and on. So yeah.
And I like what you said when you said, look, Silicon Valley was not built overnight. You know, this thinking that maybe we can bring that culture here, it will take a lot of hard work, decades and decades of building that ecosystem. You know, because for me, I don't know whether my dream is far-fetched of saying, look, is it possible in our lifetime that we can sort of build that first line of entrepreneurs that we can be able to fund up and coming guys, you know, to be able to be in that position of being venture capitalists. So I say that's not easy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So for me, look, my desire is to attain a certain level of financial success to the point where now I have the opportunity and the means and the ability to support other entrepreneurs who are coming up. Because look, an ecosystem is not built by chance. An ecosystem takes deliberate effort,
of course, intentional
effort from like multiple actors, all the stakeholders who are going to benefit from this ecosystem to make that happen. So governments need to have, like, for instance, let's say, like, if we had an innovation policy where startups got funding, they got tax breaks, they got all of these things that incentivize them to take the plunge and to really, you know, create innovative businesses. I mean, that's like part of the process of building that ecosystem. If we had, like, say, for instance, if I had an issue that was peculiar to my startup, like for the startup space, I can call a lawyer who specializes in startups in Ghana, because they don't exist.
Of course, there's none. Yes.
So
there's no opportunity to have that lawyer to really feel he can practice that here.
Yeah. So an ecosystem is built by actors who are deliberate about a certain kind of cause or future that they want to have, and I feel like that's what we're lacking. We don't have that deliberate. There's nothing deliberate about trying to build any of that.
No, right? I'm with you.
Yeah. However, I think that that being said, there are people who can get to the point where, between themselves and their network, can make a dent in this thing. Look at this guy, Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu has been sponsoring 1,000 entrepreneurs, giving them, well, us at the time when I was in the program.
Yeah, I've seen that you're actually one of the beneficiaries from 2018 program.
Yeah.
Which is very impressive, my brother.
Yeah, he gave $5,000 to 1,000 entrepreneurs.
$5,000 each. To 1,000
entrepreneurs.
Mr. Tony Elumelu from Nigeria.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and I mean, I still receive their newsletters. They are still, like, doing a lot of work in the space. So imagine you had 10 Tony Elumelus who were given
that particular funding,
$5,000 each to 1,000 entrepreneurs each. That is what 10,000 entrepreneurs every year.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that outside of the work of, like, government and other institutions that are beyond individual, like, power, if you can get to a certain level of financial and commercial success, where you have both the means and the influence to really change things, that is also another way to go.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's unfortunate that Mr. Elomelu Tony is not really in government where he can sort of influence policy. That would have helped a great deal.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it goes back to what I was saying, that, you know, as much as we can really push as entrepreneurs, but the fact that we're still having toxic environments where you may find that an issue of tax breaks, as an example, somebody might come and interfere because they don't understand what is it that they're trying to build.
Yeah.
And you find that the person is a person of power, you know, who comes through and says, no, I don't think it's really a good idea for these people not to benefit, not to pay these taxes.
Yeah.
Not understand that this thing we're trying to do is sort of to set up something that will benefit people
in the future.
40, 50 years to come.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's a challenge, I think, about Africa as well. I agree with you there.
We're very myopic, looking at what is this going to benefit us now.
For the next 5 years. Yes, during the election term period.
Yeah, I know, right? No one is thinking about, okay, when I am gone, how does this policy benefit those who are coming after me? Who are like my children, my grandchildren? Like, how does this benefit them? Right? They are just thinking about, okay, how do I benefit from this in the now? Right? And this thing you're talking about regarding tax breaks, it's funny that I'm going through this very same problem with my company right now. Currently.
Here in Ghana.
Yes, we have to go bid on a contract. And then we have some technology products that qualify for VAT exemption.
Okay.
And look, my Ghana Revenue Authority can be very vindictive. And so there isn't a lot I can say.
Okay,
right?
no, for sure.
But then,
I hear you.
But then look, it's just that the rules are just subject to individual interpretation. Someone feels like, oh, this doesn't make sense, so no, I'm not going to grant it.
And again, you know, I'll tell you something funny now. There was some funding or grant program in my country, South Africa, whereby you see the requirements for entrepreneurs to access that grant. You could see these were drafted by somebody who knows nothing about entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
I'll give you a very simple example. You get, you know, a requirement from a startup or guys who are starting from scratch, saying you must have audited financial statements. And I'm saying to myself, will a guy from a township or slums be able to afford an auditor? You know, can't just financial statements that you can see that they are compiled nicely be good enough? So that goes back to what you were saying, that, you know, we still don't have, even the people who are supposed to review things for the government, for entrepreneurs, knows nothing about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, there's a disconnect between the people who are supposed to be serving entrepreneurs, and like there's just exactly as you say, you see some of these things, they come up with comments for this, comments for that, and like, who wrote this?
Really? Really?
Like, who wrote this?
Really?
How can you reasonably expect this?
Yeah. And like you say, it was a cut and paste. Somebody took application requirements from a bank and cut and paste this on that grant application. You know, compared to a guy like Tony Elomelu, who has started businesses from scratch. He's running businesses. He understands that there's no young person who's 20 years old who will afford to have an auditor at the first year of trying to start up a business. You know? Same thing goes to the topic we had earlier where we said, look, you by the way, my brother here has got a master's in business creation. That's very powerful, my friend. I like what you said when you said that the lectures that were lecturing you there is people who have started companies. Companies are profitable. They are also be investing in the students who they're teaching. So in that university, you can't lecture if you never started a successful business and it's operating. Powerful. Powerful.
So they've started businesses, built them to be multi-million-dollar businesses, sold their businesses, made enough money, are millionaires, became investors, like, and now are in academia and they are investing in their students' companies.
So they don't talk academic stuff in the clouds.
So
education, you know.
So those
it's
are
real life stuff. They've gone through the journey. They understand the loopholes and everything.
And those are like the five core professors in the program. I mean, we had some borrowed courses that were taught by other like lecturers from other departments, and then you can see the difference in the way they teach, the way they speak, the mentality between those who are just academia
and those who are like who are entrepreneurs, who are lecturing.
There's just so much difference, and it's so clear. It's so clear.
Yeah. You are reminding me of something I read in a book from a guy called, I think, Matthew McCormick. The title of the book is Things They Don't Teach You at Harvard. There's one powerful line there that I'll always remember, where he says, the purpose of this book is not to motivate you to start a business. The purpose of this book is to tell you how I did it, you know, so that you can avoid the failures that I came across in my journey. So it's basically saying, I'm a millionaire. I started companies. They are all over the world, operating in more than 6-7 continents. I'm writing this book to tell you how I did it. You know, versus motivational speakers who will tell you things that, you know, they never did. You know, to say, you know, say yes, you can, dream big, you can end up being this and this and this.
And,
you know?
And even for me, I like to share a lot of knowledge and content on my journey and all of that. But I know where I still consider myself pretty early in my entrepreneurial journey. I haven't achieved the kind of success that I want to achieve. I know it's just a matter of time.
But you have done very well, my friend.
So when I'm even sharing my experience, I know where my limit is. I know where my experience is up to. And I don't say things that I have not done. I don't say things that I just go read on the internet. I don't say things that I don't have experience in, because that is not authentic.
No, for sure.
If I say something, I want to be able to back it with my experience and things that I can, you know, share from my own journey.
For sure.
So I'm just very conscious about, look, like, you are not if you are not a doctor, I'm trusting I'm trusting health advice from a doctor.
No, for sure.
Than from someone who is not a doctor.
No, for sure.
So
for sure.
So I understand that, you know, it's just telling you how I did it.
Of course.
It's a very powerful thing to be able to say that this is how I did it.
Yes.
Not just some guy that went and then heard things and then put them together and wrote a book.
100%. And again, I always say that I'm also still building, you know. Hence, I always love to share failures as well. Because the journeys that we're trying to do as entrepreneurs, brother, does not have the glory side only. That's why, to really show people that we fail, I always share also the failures, to say, I'm trying to do this. I don't yet understand the importance of this and this and this, but ultimately I'll work on that to improve. You know? That's why that way you are genuine, you are believable.
The two social media networks I dislike the most are Instagram and LinkedIn.
You dislike them?
I dislike them most.
Why?
Because if you go on LinkedIn, someone is excited to announce this. Someone is pleased to have raised this funding. Someone is thrilled to do this.
There's no bad news.
There's no
bad feedback there.
Yes, if you go to Instagram, everybody is showing you their best self. It's just so much that it creates this, like, you look at yourself and then your own journey and your struggles, and you're like, this guy is doing this, is doing that, is always doing all of these things. Like, wait, what's wrong with me? Right? And so I feel like this social media has become a highlight reel where people are only showing you the good stuff and the stuff they want you to see, and are hiding their bad stuff, because that is not glamorous.
For sure.
That paints them. That doesn't paint them in a good light, right?
No, for sure.
But I think that if we and I think that probably LinkedIn has it worse, because I feel like LinkedIn has so much unauthenticity or inauthenticity in that people are not sharing failures. It creates this perception that everybody there is successful, right? Someone told me that, look, if you wake up and you're looking to demotivate yourself and just buy yourself pressure, just wake up and go to LinkedIn and just go.
You find a 25-year-old driving a Rolls Royce there, and you start comparing yourself to that guy because you are 35 and the boy is 25. And you ask yourself, what have I been doing with my life? Look at this 21-year-old driving a Ferrari. Not knowing what he does.
No, not knowing what he does. So for me, I think that it's for us, for some of us whom people look up to, I think that we have an extra responsibility to create a balanced view of whatever we're trying to share.
100%.
If it's entrepreneurship, whereas I'm sharing my successes, I'm sharing my failures.
100%.
And one of the failures I share the most is when, as an early stage startup that is still bootstrapping, trying to raise funding, you are always trying to apply for funding, apply for opportunities, and then you keep getting no's, and rejection, right? Yeah. And so, like, when I get a rejection email, I'm like, hey, look, I applied for this, it didn't work. Yeah. And that's just the reality of being an entrepreneur.
And my brother, I'm telling you, that has more positive contribution to the people who are following you versus you just posting the positive only.
True.
You know?
True.
You know, currently, just to give a simple example, I'm running a brick making operation. COVID has taught us very important lessons to sort of diversify, sometimes. I've set up a brick making operation, and I'm telling you, I was telling someone the other day, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing with that operation because I'm just paying people every month. I'm paying expenses. I see nothing. I see no profit. But one thing I'm realizing, slowly but surely, I'm building the market. You know, this month, 10 clients know you. The following month is 15 clients. After 2 months, it's 20 clients. Things ultimately will work out, you know. But when you're still in that beginning stages, it's like, what is it that I'm trying to do? So I feel like those stories people must see. People must hear those stories.
Yeah.
That you'll do something and, you know, things don't happen overnight, bro. There's a process. They say life is a process. One guy said it this morning, life is a process. You know, things will take time to happen. You know?
Yeah. I think we owe it to people to let them see that, and especially if we are saying that we want to really create this ecosystem where people who are coming up, entrepreneurs, feel bold enough to jump in and do like solve problems. We owe it to them to let them know the reality. For sure. And to let them know that, look, it's fine to not know what you're doing. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine to feel like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing.
No, for sure.
It's fine to fail. It's fine to be confused. It's fine to just be lost. It's fine. It's all of those things are fine. They are part of the journey. They help build experience. They help build resilience. And you're going to learn from this. Like, you cannot shortcut that process.
For sure.
Because if you try to shortcut that process, when you are big and having gone through the fire and you fail, you tend to fail spectacularly.
You'll fall down hard.
So it's just part of the process. Own it. Own your failures. Own the lessons. And just see it as part of the grind. See it as part of the journey. So I think that, it's good to be authentic. We need more authentic people who are just telling it as it is, not trying to create the impression that, hey, all is well with me, everything is fine. Look, some of the most vulnerable moments I have shared are times that I have been depressed as an entrepreneur, and like times that I have almost wanted to call it quits. Those some of the lowest moments where it's like we only have 1 month's worth of salary in the bank and we shut down. And I'm glad that I'm able to share some of these stories because, as you said, those stories, especially when you express vulnerability, when you show that, look, I am also human, I am not a superstar, those are even more powerful than the successes.
But can I ask you something now? Sorry to cut you off then.
Yeah.
Can't someone flip that and say sometimes sharing those scary stories or those depressing stories will sort of send this message that this is actually not for everyone? Will you scare away some people to think this is not really for the faint-hearted? Of course, this journey of entrepreneurship, I understand, bro. I don't know how to say it, but I'm tempted to say it's like it's not for everyone.
Yeah, I believe it's not for everyone. Look, us sharing these stories, the goal is not to scare people away. The goal is to just show you the reality of things, especially the parts that you don't get to see or hear of often, that you definitely experience. Yeah. Otherwise, you start to feel like, oh, I am the only one going through this, which is not the case.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And the truth is, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And it's fine, okay? Because, look, if we're all entrepreneurs, who's going to work in our company?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Right? There are some people that are really good and amazing at just working under someone, right?
Yeah.
Execute, like being part of building something, right?
Yes.
And that is their talent, that is their skill, that is their. Not everybody can be a founder. Someone is like, hey, you know what? I want to believe in your vision, and then I will work with you to achieve that vision. And we need those people too.
No, for
They're
sure.
all
For
like
sure. You need a team as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you
as
need
well.
a team.
Yeah, to come and build your product.
Yeah, you need a team. So yeah, it's true. I mean, the purpose is not to scare people away, but then if it helps you realize that, look, this is not for the faint-hearted, maybe this is not for me, I think in the long run it gets to save you, because then it prevents you from wrongfully assuming that, look, I can also do this, when maybe you are better suited to supporting an entrepreneur.
100%, 100%. And also I believe that, with this era of social media sort of perpetuate this instant gratification situation to a point where if you don't share all these negative stories as well, people will think, all we saw was just success.
Yes.
A straight and narrow path for Isaac, Yeah, the guy just started in 2015. Within 5 years, we saw him driving this big car, staying in this big mansion. Wow, this is very easy.
And you know what is funny? In the early days, when you start grinding and hustling, very few people know about you.
For sure.
But when you start becoming successful, all of a sudden, more people get to know about you, and then they seem to think that, look, you are an overnight success.
Of course.
I tell people, look, overnight success takes at least 10 years of like hard work and sweat and tears and no one knowing about you. And it's funny because a lot of people who we think they just burst onto the scene. That's what we say, like they burst onto the scene. You go and you realize that, look, they've been doing this like half their lives, and you never knew about them. Right? And so, look, technology is here. Back in the day, you want to watch a TV program, you have to get in front of your TV when the program is showing. You dare not go pee. You only go pee when there's an advert, right? And then your sibling tells you, hey, they're coming back on, and then you run
back. To come and watch.
But now we have what? We have Netflix. Everything is on demand. Everything is like, I want something now, I get it now. I missed this show, it's saved on my DVR or whatever. I can just watch it tomorrow. So it's like, there isn't that patience anymore to wait for results. People want to shortcut the process because now we've built a world where you want something now, you get it now. And they say there's what we call laws of nature. I love something from one guy from South Africa where he says, if me and you plant a tree together and I water my tree 5 times, does not mean it will grow faster. It's a law of life, bro. The tree will go. If a tree takes 6 weeks to go to this height, it doesn't matter how many times you water it. So it's like we just need to respect the natural processes of nature. And again, my brother, one thing about life is that if you start gradually, you move from making 10,000 to making 15, you also learn how to handle that money. Exactly. Exactly.
Versus today having 1 CD, tomorrow 5 million CDs.
It's like, where did all of this money come from? You just get confused. You don't know how to handle it. I don't know if there's a lottery here in Ghana. Do they have a lottery? We do. Someone won a bet. I think it's like the biggest bet. It was like 6 million CDs, which is like $500,000. Imagine if this person doesn't have good people around him advising him and all of that. It will shock you that money will just disappear.
My brother, we have a TV show in South Africa where they go back to trace all the people who won those millions. All of them go broke, average worst case 3 years. I've seen a guy who won 36 million. 36 million rand is an equivalent of 2.5 or almost $2 million US. 3 years, he had nothing.
So you ask yourself, it's like money that you don't, if you notice, money that you feel like you worked hard for, that you suffered for, you treat it with more respect than money that just came into your lap.
Of course. I mean, even the mistakes that you went through along the way for you to get to that level of net worth helps you to understand how to manage, Because I'm sure first year you'll make $1 million. Second year, you've misused $500,000. You have no idea what you did with it. Then those are just lessons as you're going. The following year, you try to rectify all the mistakes of the previous year. Versus you having one CD today, tomorrow you wake up got 15 million CDs.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to manage them.
No. So I think there was this interview not too long ago where Jay-Z said, look, the fact that I'm not, like, I think he said something about they went for like a family dinner or Thanksgiving or something, and then a cousin walked up to him and said, yo, like, can I have $5,000 for this?
I saw that interview.
And he
was
like,
the one with Kevin Hart?
Pardon?
Was it the one where he was being interviewed by Kevin Hart?
I'm not sure it was Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But and then he was like, well, no, that's not how it works. And people were bashing him. That
look, you have $1 billion.
You're $1 billion.
How
It's just $5,000.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, right? And this is someone who, like, his money didn't just happen all of a sudden, and so there is a different attitude and respect towards money.
Yes,
that's is a virtue of the fact that it's taken lots of years of hard work and sweat to build. Yeah.
And can I tell you, I'm just assuming here that if that cousin got that 5,000, the following day there was a chance he might not have nothing.
Yeah.
And if you ask him what he did, he has bought stuff that does not even make sense.
Because $5,000 just dropped on his lap.
Wow, bro. My brother, I always say that I read a lot about these high-level achievers, and I love Jay-Z a lot. You know, I'm inspired by people who actually started from nothing. Yeah. So guys like that, who at the moment is like a net worth of $2 billion, from coming from places where, bro, there was no chance of even being alive till 50 years. To get in the level of 2 billion net worth, my brother, that's unbelievable.
Okay, creating awareness. I mean, there are other things I do on the side just to ensure that financially I am fine and I have the peace of mind to be able to continue on my mission.
So those are other businesses that you're running on the side?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I run a digital technology consultancy for companies that want to basically integrate more digital technology in their operations. I'm also a farmer, so
nice.
Yeah, I have a farm where we produce cassava and cassava dough.
And then are you exporting as well?
We're not exporting currently. Yeah, the local market is. I mean, we haven't scratched the surface of the local market. When we go along, there are like all of those opportunities that exist to export. Yeah, and then I'm also into real estate as well. So
nice.
I run a business that manages short-term rental properties, Airbnb and the likes. Yeah, but then those are things that I do because they can generate revenue needed to create this like financial
while in pursuing of your mission.
Yeah, the thing that I believe that I'm more passionate about, and I know that is going to pay off.
No, for sure. Now, what would you say is the challenges of being an entrepreneur in Ghana?
Oh, the challenges are a lot. I think that by and large, if I could sum them up, I would say that entrepreneurship in Ghana is challenging because the ecosystem needs to exist for you to thrive as an entrepreneur. It's not developed. And so you face so many challenges: raising funding, policies, regulation, even doing like business in Ghana. You want to register a company, it's like you need to literally go pay someone if you need your documents.
If your stuff needs to go faster, yes.
And all of these things are things that make up that entrepreneurial ecosystem. So simply put, our entrepreneurial ecosystem is not developed enough to the point where it's easy to thrive as an entrepreneur. Nevertheless, where it starts from somewhere. If we believe that as more entrepreneurs come onto the scene, we can build a critical mass needed to force these policymakers to really, do things that are favorable for entrepreneurs and for the country as a whole. So, yeah, I mean, entrepreneurs, we solve problems. We don't hide behind excuses. So I'm still positive, especially knowing that we're creating value, we're solving impactful problems, and so we'll keep going.
Yeah, and I'll say that's an African problem. The same thing applies in South Africa as well. We still find it difficult to really get conducive environments to do business. You know. So what will be your message, my brother, to young people who are trying to be Isaac Sesis of the future?
I think.
What can you say to them?
Yeah, I don't know if this thing is happening in maybe your country or in other places, but I know that at least for Ghana and Nigeria, everybody wants to leave the country and go to Europe, UK, America, Canada, wherever, to better their lives and the lives of their family. I think that it's good that you desire like a good life for your family, but ask yourself that if someone doesn't solve the problem, if we don't fix Africa,
and we all migrate,
who is going to fix Africa? Yeah, I think that leaving the country or leaving Africa should not be your default option in trying to better your life. Because look, I know people from out there who come to Africa and like, whoa, like Africa is such a fallow ground for opportunities.
So many opportunities. For sure.
Yeah, and it's true that someone coming from Europe or America has the funds and the means to exploit those opportunities compared to someone in Africa. But look, the fact that opportunities exist means that, look, there are options.
Yeah.
And so I think that like the default option should not be I am leaving.
Yeah.
The default option should be what can I do? Right? What opportunities can I take advantage of? And I think that, look, if we put our minds to it, we can really... Politicians are going to be politicians. Politicians have existed since, for centuries.
Yeah.
But there are countries that have, beyond whatever politicians have done, been able to develop. And I think that, look, Africa, if our people put our mind to it, we can make things happen, whether politicians do what they have to do or not. So I guess my parting message is that, look, like, Africa needs you, Africa needs us, and we shouldn't be in a hurry to leave.
100%.
I'm very pro-Africa. I love Africa, and I know that, look, we can make Africa work. It takes people like you and I and you watching to decide that, look, I'm going to help create an Africa that I want to live in, that I want my children to live in, that I want my grandchildren to live in. So let's make this happen.
100%.